Welcome to the Cougar Sports Network for the second consecutive day of CUC softball here in River Forest. It's a bright sunny day for a non-conference doubleheader between the visiting North Park University Vikings and the hometown heroes, Concordia University Chicago Cougars. A bright and sunny day. I'm Kayla McLeod. I'll be on the call with you today, getting things going here for the Cougars. Inside the circle is number 26, Ashley Schroll. Schroll, a key arm for this CUC Tierney, able to get it, but can't quite get there in time. So safe at first is Tan, and that's going to bring up the designated player for the Vikings in number 5, Bella Froworth. Froworth hitting .297 on the season. That one misses inside for ball 1. As I was saying, Cougars 2 games against Carthage yesterday, falling in both, but some really good things out of this CUC squad, looking to bounce back here. That one misses for ball 2. As I mentioned, Froworth hitting pretty well on the season so far, as that one misses for ball 3. A 3-0 count here in favor of Froworth, who has started and appeared in all 14 games so far for the Vikings. 11 total hits on the season, as that one misses inside for ball number 4, and a free base for the Vikings. It's going to put runners on first and second and bring a new batter up for the Vikings in number 4, Kayla Lorenz. Lorenz hitting .396 on the season, takes that one low for ball 1. Lorenz again starting and playing in all 14 games for the Vikings this year, leading the way with 19 total hits on the season. Slugging percentage of .583, and we're going to see a quick visit here from Gang to Schroll, trying to resettle as Schroll already down in the count, 2-0 in favor of Lorenz. In the infield for the Cougars, as I mentioned, Ashley Schroll pitching behind the plate, Jess Gang at first base, Maya Lorenas, second base, Alyssa Campos. At shortstop, Arissa Santos. Playing third is Melissa Hajik. Left field, Lindley Southern. Right field, Callie Tierney. And playing in center field again is Mykyler Morris, as that one right down the middle for strike number 1. This one swung on. It's going to get through the infield. Southern able to get it in right field and prevent the runs from moving, but that's going to load the bases up and put the Cougars in a tough spot, as Catherine Keene now at the plate for the Vikings. No outs, bases loaded. A great spot for North Park to be in this early on. Schroll getting the pitch. This one hits the outside corner for strike number 1. Schroll still looking to get first out of the day. This one fouled back for the 0-2 count. Ball bouncing off of our home plate umpire here. A little bit shaken, but no real damage done as he gets right back into it. 1 ball, 2 strikes here. This ball hit and lifted into right center. Getting underneath it is Tierney, but tagging up from third and successfully able to score and put 1 run up on the board is Maddie Tan. So a sac fly there is going to put 1 run on the board for the Vikings. And CUC trails early. Sydney Snyder now at the plate for North Park. One away. She shows bunt, fouls it off. Runners now on first and second for North Park. This one misses low and inside for ball one. Snyder hitting .326 on the season. She lifts this one into second base. Campos makes the grab, jumping at second, and dives back to the base, hoping to get Froworth off of that jump. A really great effort there from Alyssa Campos. Can't get the final out, but she gets the one in the air and is able to put 2 outs up on the board. A great spot for the Cougars, as that one is fouled off. Now batting for the Vikings is Kaylee Pereira, sitting with the 0-1 count here. This one catches the outside corner for strike number 2. This one swung on and missed, and that's going to be a strikeout for Ashley Schroll. Cougars get out of the inning, but Vikings strike first in River Forest, putting 1 run on the board. CUC doing a nice job of warding off the rest after a bases-loaded situation. Looked pretty scary, but CUC sitting in a really good spot as they bring up the top half of their lineup. For the Cougars, leading things off is going to be Emily Garcia, Ashley Schroll batting second, Jess Gang batting third, Maya Lorenas batting fourth, Melissa Hajik fifth, Arissa Santos sitting in the 6th spot, Mykyler Morris batting 7th, Alyssa Campos batting 8th, and batting 9th is going to be Callie Tierney. But now pitching for the Vikings is going to be Eden Baker. Baker, 6 total appearances on the season for the Vikings. Left-handed pitcher, a .652 ERA. The junior out of Lafayette, Indiana. And that's going to get things going here in River Forest. As I mentioned, Emily Garcia going to be leading things off for the Cougars. Garcia appeared in yesterday's games as she takes that one for ball 1. Garcia batting .421 on the season. 19 total at-bats, 8 hits within that. That ball misses upstairs for ball 1. A nice and sunny day here in River Forest. Wind blowing just a little bit. That ball is going to bounce off of Garcia's helmet and give a free base to the sophomore. And that's going to bring up number 26, Ashley Schroll. Schroll having a great season for the Cougars this year. As she shows bunts, that ball's going to get down early. And picking it up at first was Garcia, tagging Schroll, but Emily Garcia going to be on the move to second. So a successful laid down bunt for Schroll moves the runner.
Number 12, Jess Gang.
And that's going to put 1 out on the board Jess Gang now at the plate for the Cougars. Gang hitting .395 on the season. As that ball misses inside and up for ball one. As I was saying prior to Schroll's bunt, a sunny day here in River Forest. We saw a lot of sun yesterday, but the clouds started to peek out, make it a little bit chilly, so a little bit warmer here today. Hoping to keep that warm weather for as long as we can, as the Midwest spring weather can be unpredictable. That one right down the middle for strike number one. A 2-1 count here against Gang. This one low and away for ball three. Baker, 25 walks on the season. As that one in there for strike two. Gang thought that it was high for ball four, but instead catches the zone and makes this a full count. As she swings on that one, it's going to drop fair in left field. Garcia being held at third, but Gang is going to safely make it to second. And that's going to be an easy double for Gang and bring up Maya Lorenas. Lorenas, a big hitter for this CUC squad. Leading the way, hitting .519. 14 hits and 27 at-bats. So a good spot to be in. Runners in scoring position and your top hitter at the plate. One down here in the bottom of the first. Lorenas swings on that one. It's a slow roller over to third. Gonna check the run and get the outs. So a great defensive play there from the Vikings. And that's going to put 2 outs on the board. And put Melissa Hajik at the plate. Cougars looking to at least put 1 on the board and level the score, not trail for too long. Hajik takes that one right down the middle for strike one. This one swung on, fouled off the first base line. 0-2 count here against Hajik. This ball delivered in there for strike 3, and that's going to do it for the first inning. CUC had the opportunity to retaliate. 2 runners in scoring position, but couldn't quite get there. We're going to head to the top of the second. CUC trailing by 1. Don't go anywhere here on the Cougar Sports Network. Back here on the Cougar Sports Network, top of the second. Vikings leading the Cougars at 1-0 as that ball swung on and missed from the leadoff batter in this inning, number 21, Katie Patton. Ashley Schroll still working in the circle for the Cougars. This one swung on, lifted. Getting underneath it is Hajik and successfully able to grab it is Hajik for out number 1. That's going to bring up number 10, Celissa Garcia for the Vikings. Garcia playing first base for the Vikings. One out here. She takes that one in there for strike number 1. Garcia hitting .261 on the season. Played and started in all 14 games for the Vikings. As this ball misses well upstairs for ball 1. This one swung on, fouled back. Makes this a 1-2 count for Schroll. Vikings 8-6 so far on the season, coming off of a split with Loras College on Saturday, winning their first game with a score of 11-10, and then falling in game 2 3-6. So a tale of two stories there. So Vikings really looking to get things going here early. Having the early lead over the Cougars is putting them in a nice spot, as the 3-2 count here. Misses inside for ball 4. Puts a runner on base. And that's going to bring up number 3, Eden Baker. Baker stepping back out of the box for a quick second, but coming right back in. Baker hitting .360 on the season. 9 hits in 25 at-bats. Still one away here in River Forest. That ball in there for strike number 1. One count across the board as she swings through that one, makes it a 1-2 count now. Vikings a couple more non-conference matches before they jump into CCIW play. Obviously taking 2 games with the Cougars today, as this ball is hit and lifted into the infield. Santos gets underneath it for out number 2. And Cougars in a good spot here. That's going to bring up the top of the lineup for the Vikings. Number 15, Maddie Tan. As that one misses low for ball 1. As I was saying, Vikings have 2 games against the Cougars today. They have a doubleheader against St. Mary's College on Saturday, and then a doubleheader against University of Chicago on Tuesday, before jumping into CCIW play with the conference opener against Elmhurst University on Sunday, April 6th. This ball catches the outside corner for strike 1. Strike 2. 1-2 count with 2 outs here. Schroll sends this one just outside. Makes this a 2 count across the board. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Tan picked up a single in her first at-bat of the day. Takes that one right down the middle for strike number 3. Ashley Schroll gets the Cougars out of the inning with no damage done. Cougars heading to the bottom of the second, looking to level things up here on the Cougar Sports Network. Back here on the Cougar Sports Network, bottom of the second, Arissa Santos at the plate. Santos hitting 231 on the season. She swings the first pitch. She sees that's going to pop foul. Santos picking up her first home run in the season in the game against Carthage yesterday. Baker still on the dock for the Vikings. Sends that one into the dirt. Looks like it fell out of her hand a little bit strange. So levels the count at 1-1. That one once again coming out of her hand a little bit strange. This time getting a little bit extra lift. So a 2-1 count here for Santos. Baker trying to get back into a groove as she sends this one high for ball 3. And that's going to be a free base for Arissa Santos. Cougars gladly taking a free base, and that's going to bring up Mykyler Morris to the plate. Morris, a sophomore from Belvedere, Illinois. 815 representation right there as she takes that one high and away for ball 1. Morris hitting 290 on the season, 12 appearances, 12 starts. And we're going to see a quick conversation. Patton heading into the circle to calm things down with Baker just a touch. Regroup. Cougars 1 runner on base in Arissa Santos. And coming back into it with the 2-0 count. This ball bunted, popped straight up off the netting. A good attempt there from Morris, but got a little bit too far under it. So a 2-1 count now. Another bunt, this one laid down. Baker's going to get it and flip it over to Tan at first, but that's going to advance Santos. And bring up Alyssa Campos. One of those foul balls from Morris, knocking the camera out of place a little bit. But that's going to bring Alyssa Campos up for the Cougars. As this one misses upstairs for ball 1. Campos hitting .200 on the season, 4 hits and 20 at-bats. Looking to see a little bit of a spark here. As that one catches for strike 1. Campos swinging through that one for strike number 2. 1 ball, 2 strikes, 1 out here. As this one hit over to third, and Campos is going to be thrown out for out number 2. And that's going to bring up Callie Tierney to the plate for the first time today. So 2 outs here. Runner on second. Cougars looking to capitalize, not leave runners stranded once again. As that one right down the middle for strike 1. And that one drops low for ball 1. Tierney, one of 3 seniors on this CUC squad. Hitting .455 this season. 5 hits in 11 at-bats. This one misses out and away for ball 3. A walk here for Tierney would bring up the top of the order for the Cougars. A really good spot to be in, even with 2 outs, as that one does miss upstairs, and a free base for Callie Tierney. And that's going to bring Emily Garcia back to the plate. Garcia, as I mentioned, hitting .421 on the season. Took a ball to the face in her first at-bat, right off the helmet. So looking for her first hit here today. She takes that one right down the middle for strike 1. Cougars 0 for 1 at the plate with 2 outs. Looking to see that statistic change here. That one misses for ball 1. This one swung on, fouled off of the first base netting. Puts Garcia behind in the count. 1-2 count here. Baker looking to get the Vikings out of the inning. Has the favor here as she sends this one. Swing and a miss, strike 3. Emily Garcia can't connect, leaves 2 runners stranded in the bottom of the second. Cougs still trailing 1-0 as we head to the top of the third here on the Cougar Sports Network. Back here on the Cougar Sports Network, top of the third. As that ball hit into right field. Froworth taking a swing at the first pitch she sees, but Tierney able to get up and under. Schroll still working in the circle for the Cougars. That one catches for strike one. 1-1 count here, 1 out. Lorenz 1 for 1 at the plate today. Hit a single into left field in her first at-bat. This ball hit into the infield. Hajiq able to get it and over to first in time for out number 2. Cougars operating quick here in the top of the third. And that's going to bring Keene back to the plate for the Vikings. And 2 outs here. As that one catches for strike number 1. Keene had a sac fly in her first at-bat, putting the lone run on the board for the day. As that one misses inside for ball 1. Some cloud coverage here. And a bit of a breeze making it a bit chilly. But when the sun is shining, it's a beautiful day. As Schroll works the 2-1 count. This one fouled off. Makes it a 2-2 count. Two balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs here in the top of the third. Schroll delivers this one, swung on, fouled off the first baseline. This one swung on, hit over to short. Santos can't quite grab it. And that's going to leave Keene safe at first. A hard hit ball over to Santos. And that's going to keep the Vikings alive for a bit longer, as Snyder now back at the plate for North Park. Snyder 0 for 1 today. As she thought about swinging at that one, lets it go by for ball 1. Snyder lined out to Campos at second in her first at-bat. Had that almost a double play. As that ball is hit over. Campos making the jump, can't quite get there. Instead, it's going to drop shallow center field for a base hit. And the Vikings, working with 2 outs here, now have runners on first and second. And that's going to bring up Pereira to the plate. Pereira 0 for 1 today as well. She swings the first pitch she sees. That's going to fall into shallow right field. Vikings playing aggressive. That ball's going to get slow roller into the outfield. And North Park will score on that. Cougars couldn't quite contain that ball and easily was able to move Keene around. And head coach of the Cougars, Sarah O'Malley Fisher, is going to make her way to the circle to have a quick chat with her infield. As Cougars now trail 2-0, an unfortunate spot to be in. operating with 2 outs. That ball dropping into right field should have given the Cougars some time to hold that run, but a little bit of a mishap allowed for the run to score. But number 21, Katie Patton to the plate as she takes strike 1. Patton 0 for 1 on the day. She fouls that one off, makes this an 0-2 count. Oh, 2 count, 2 outs. Cougars looking to get out of this with no more damage done. Schroll sends this one in. It's hit and lifted into right field over Tierney's head. One's going to score. They're going to send a second as Pereira actually gets held at third. Patton with a stand-up double. And the Vikings tack another run on the board. And we're going to see a substitution here as it appears as though Caitlin Smith will now be heading to second base. Campos coming in to pitch for the Cougars. Ashley Schroll ending her time in the circle. Schroll doing some good work, getting the Cougars to 2 outs here in this inning. Final stat line for Ashley Schroll: 2.2 innings pitched, 6 hits, 3 runs allowed, 2 walks, 2 strikeouts, 16 batters faced for a total of 54 pitches. And as I mentioned, that's going to bring in Alyssa Campos to pitch, initially playing second for the Cougars. And Campos, we saw her pitch yesterday for the Cougars as well. 6 total appearances on the season, a 5.13 ERA, 15 total innings pitched on the season, leading this CUC team in strikeouts while also leading the CUC team in walks. So an effective pitcher for the Cougars as CUC now trails 3-0, hoping to be able to get out of this inning. Already 2 outs on the board. Vikings done a nice job of working from the deficit here. And it's going to bring up number 10, Celissa Garcia for the Vikings. Garcia 0 for 0 at the plate today. Had a walk in her first at-bat. As Schroll has entered right field in place of Tierney. Apologies for missing that initially. So after umpires getting all of those changes adjusted, umpires for today, Robert Williams and Al Costa. And that's going to bring Garcia up to the plate. Cougars looking to get out of the inning as that one catches for strike number 1. Vikings 4 for 6 at the plate with 2 outs today. After going on a run here, that ball's lifted into center field. Getting underneath it is Morris. Can't quite get there. 1's going to score. 2's going to score. It's going to hold Garcia at first, but the Vikings are on. This ball misses just low for ball 1. Campos trying to get the Cougars out of this inning with no more damage. As this ball is hit over to second, bounces off of Smith's glove. Cougars now looking to get the throw over at third. And they're going to get her. The throw from Lorenas to Hajiq at third gets Garcia trying to take an extra base. So Cougars get out of the inning in a troublesome fashion after the Vikings put 4 runs up. We head to the bottom of the third, CUC trailing 5-0 here on the Cougar Sports Network. Back here on Cougar Sports Network, bottom of the fourth. At the plate for the Cougars is number 26, Ashley Schroll. CUC in a bit of a tough spot after giving up 4 runs in the top half of the inning. Cougars looking to climb their way back in as Schroll takes ball number 1. Baker still working in the circle for the Vikings. This ball lifts high for ball 2. Baker already with 2 walks today, but on top of that, 2 strikeouts. So a consistent pitcher for the Vikings as that one is in there for strike 1. On the season, Baker, 25 walks, 14 strikeouts in her 19.1 total innings pitched. As this one right down the middle for strike 2. Evens things up at 2 apiece. Swing and a miss. Strike 3 from Ashley Schroll. Make that strikeout number 3 for Baker. And that's going to bring Jess Gang up to the plate for the Cougars. 1 out here in the bottom of the third. Gang 1 for 1 at the plate. As that one misses low for ball 1. This one upstairs for ball 2. Yang hit a double in her first at-bat of the day in the first inning. Cougars unable to capitalize on it. Still scoreless here. That one catches the outside corner. Gang thought about swinging, held back, takes the strike regardless. This one in a similar spot. Gang watches it go to level the count at 2 apiece. Gang hits this one, a slow roller up the middle. Baker able to get it. Gets the throw over in time for out number 2. And that's going to put Maya Lorenas at the plate for CUC, looking to get some 2-out action going here. Nobody on base for the Cougars. This one misses outside and low. Lorena's 0 for 1 at the plate today. She swings at this one off the handle, heads foul towards the Cougar dugout. She swings on this one, heading over to third base. Keene able to get it and gets to throw over in time to retire the inning. 1, 2, 3. CUC still trailing 5-0 as we head to the top of the fourth here on the Cougar Sports Network. Back here on the Cougar Sports Network, top of the fourth, top of the order for the Vikings. Maddie Tan at the plate as she lifts that one foul. A close call there, bouncing near inches on the wrong side of the bag. Oh, 1 count here for Tan. That one misses for ball 1. Tan 1 for 2 at the plate. Hit a single in her first appearance and struck out in her last appearance. This one misses for ball 2. Vikings found some energy in the last innings. That ball is lifted into center field. Getting back is Morris running into the fence. Tan is down at second and safely at second. Morris tracking that into the outfield, running into the fence as that ball bounced high off the fence and rolling back. So a double for Tan is going to bring up number 5, Bella Froworth. Froworth 0 for 1 today with a walk. As that one misses inside for ball 1. This one in the dirt, but kept in front by Gang. Holds Tan at second. No outs, runner on second. This one misses inside, makes this a 3-0 count in favor of Froworth. This one catches for strike 1. Campos so far today has not walked anyone or had a strikeout. Looking to ward things off here. That one swung on. It's going to be fouled off. Makes it a full count. Three-two count, runner on second. Campos sends this one. Connected and sent foul along the third base line. Bounces off of North Park's dugout. Froworth keeping herself alive in this at-bat. That one misses in the dirt for ball four. A free base for the Vikings. And Cougars going to take a quick second to regroup. Their infielders coming together. Vikings 2 runners on, no outs. And that's going to bring up Kayla Lorenz to the plate, junior from Vernon Hills, Illinois. Lorenz 1 for 2 at the plate today, had a single in her first at-bat. A base hit here potentially scores 1 and extends this Viking lead. This one in the dirt for ball 1. Once again, kept in front by Gang. Great job keeping that ball in control. This one in there for strike 1. 1-1 count here, no outs. Swung on, hit deep into left field. It's going to get down past Southern. Tan rounding, heading home. Runners at first and second are going to hold, but Maddie Tan will cross home and put another one up on the board for the Vikings. North Park having a lot of success here today. Still no outs. And that's going to bring number 7, Catherine Keene, to the plate as she lifts this one into the infield. Hajik able to get underneath it, but I believe also an infield fly. So out number 1 on the board finally for the Cougars. And that's going to bring up Sydney Snyder now to the plate for the Vikings. Cougars finally with 1 away. Still runners on first and second. This ball hit into the infield. Santos tries to get the force out at second. Can't get there in time. So all runners will be safe. Loading the bases up for Pereira. And the Vikings are hot. Pereira at the plate now, 1 for 2 on the day. 1 out. She takes her first pitch right down the middle for strike 1. This one swung on, hit over to third. Gonna be foul. A great save there for the Cougars. If that was fair, at least 1, potentially 2 runs were gonna score on that. So now the 0-2 count for Pereira. 1 out, bases loaded. This one in there for strike 3. Alyssa Campos gets her first strikeout of the day and holds things where they are. A much-needed strikeout for the Cougars is going to put 2 outs on the board. And Patton at the plate for North Park. Bases loaded. Patton swings through that first one for strike one. Patton 1 for 2 at the plate today, hit a double in her last at-bat. Vikings have proven successful at the plate as that one hit over to Smith at second and easily out at first. So Cougars doing a great job of getting out of that bases loaded jam. But Vikings still put 1 run up in the top half of the inning. We're going to head to the bottom of the 4th. CUC trailing 6-0 here on the Cougar Sports Network. Back here on the Cougar Sports Network, bottom of the 4th, Melissa Hajik at the plate for CUC. Cougars need some energy on the offensive end as that ball misses in the dirt from Baker. Cougars 1 for 9 today. Only hit coming off the bat of Jess Gang as that one misses for ball 2. CUC athletic communications staff a little frightened on that one, but rest assured we are safe behind plexiglass and netting as that one misses low for ball 3. "3-0 count here for Hajik. And that's going to be a 4-ball walk to put a runner on for the Cougs. And Arissa Santos now coming to the plate. No outs, runner on first. Santos needing a jolt here. Had a walk in her first appearance of the day. She shows bunt. That ball is going to bounce straight down and roll backwards and go foul. But a good bunt attempt there from Santos. As I was saying, Cougars only 1 for 9 today and 0 for 3 with 2 outs. Meanwhile, the Vikings seem to be hot when they're hitting with 2 outs, 5 for 9 at the plate. And another bunt attempt there from Santos. No good. Quickly puts her at the 0-2 count. Cougars still operating with no outs here in the bottom half of the inning. This ball in the dirt for ball 1. Patton keeping that ball in front of her, holding Hajik where she is on first. The 1-2 pitch. Swung on, lifted into the outfield, right along the infield baseline. It's going to be caught by Lorenz for out number 1. Looked like it might have had a little bit more lift to it, hopefully carrying a touch more to find some space, but instead easily grabbed by Lorenz, and that's going to bring Mykyler Morris up to the plate for the Cougars. She's 0 for 0 today as this ball bunted and going to go foul. Cougars still looking to move some base runners around. 1 out here. Hajiq still camped over on first. As this ball misses upstairs for ball 1. One count here. Swung on. And making the diving attempt was Patton. Ball was foul, but great effort from the backstop for the Vikings trying to get that one. Just couldn't get there in time. Patton in a bit of discomfort after that diving attempt. Gonna take a second. Cougars gonna hold where they are. Viking infield gonna take a second to come together as well. As head coach for the Vikings, Katie Anderson, coming out to check on her catch. Anderson, a well-experienced coach in her 11th season. Smiling, giving her catcher a pat on the back as she walks away. Anderson led the Vikings to back-to-back CCIW tournament appearances in 23 and 24. The program's first consecutive appearances in program history. So done a fantastic job with this North Park squad, as I mentioned, in her 11th season. As Morris fouls that one back. Anderson, a former player at North Park University. As that ball has some lift to it, but it's going to fall right into the hands of Pereira in left field for out number 2. Cougars getting some good contact made, but cannot find a space to drop it. So that's going to bring up Alyssa Campos to the plate for the Cougars, now operating with 2 outs. Melissa Hajiq still over on first as that one is fouled back for the 0-1 count. This ball swung on and missed for strike number 2. Baker looking for strikeout number 4. This one misses upstairs. 1-2 count now. One runner on for the Cougars. 2 outs. This one in the dirt. Hajiq's going to go. And the throw is not going to get there in time. Hajiq looking for the signal to see if she should continue. Again, a foul ball knocking our camera out of place. Apologies for that, folks. But Hajiq safe at second on that throw attempt. A 2-2 count, 2 outs here. As that ball misses high for ball 3. Full count, the pitch swung on, hit over to Keene at third, who's able to get the out successfully, and that's going to do it for the bottom of the 4th. Cougars still trailing 6-0. And we're going to head to a quick break here on the Cougar Sports Network. Back here on the Cougar Sports Network, top of the fifth, Celissa Garcia leading things off, but some changes for the Cougars now. Pitching is Morgan Hofek. Ashley Schroll moved over to left field. Alyssa Campos moved over to right field. Two CUC players just making their way around the field today, trying to hit every position. Each of those two have played 3 thus far. Rest of the Cougar infield still staying the same, as that one is in there for strike number 2. Oh, 2 count here. Swung on. Chopper up the middle. Santos able to glove it, get the out at first easily, and quickly put one away. That's going to bring Baker up to the plate for the Vikings. Baker 0 for 2 today. Hofek sends this one outside for ball 1. Hofek, an arm that we saw yesterday for the Cougars. This one swung on, lifted into right field. Campos getting underneath it and successfully grabbing it for out number 2. Cougars put 2 away quickly, but that's going to bring up the top of the order for the Vikings in Maddie Tan. As I was saying about Hofek making an appearance yesterday, 8 total appearances on the season, 2 starts, 4.31 ERA. That one misses away for ball 1. This one catches for strike 1. Hofek, 13 total innings pitched on the season so far. That is the 3rd most of the Cougar pitching staff. So a familiar arm. As that one catches in there for strike number 2. Hofek gets the sign and delivers. This one fouled off by Tan. One, 2 count, 2 outs. Tan initially showing bunt here. This one fouled off. Tan keeping herself alive in this at-bat. Almost didn't swing. Instead, caught a piece of it to stay alive. Vikings 5 for 9 at the plate with 2 outs. Tan 2 for 3 today. As she connects with this one, sends it over to second. Smith able to glove it and get it for out number 3. And the Cougars hold the Vikings scoreless in the top of the 5th for the first time since the 2nd inning. And CUC is going to head to their half, looking to get things rolling. CUC trailing 6-0 here on the Cougar Sports Network. Back here on the Cougar Sports Network for the bottom of the fifth. Leading things off is Caitlin Smith. Smith coming in to play second base early on in the game. She takes that one in there for strike one. Baker still dishing for the Vikings. 68 total pitches so far for Baker, as that one misses for ball one. A beautiful day here in River Forest, as that one misses for ball two. CUC playing games 3 and 4 of the week today. 8 total home games for Cougar softball this week. Plenty of opportunities to catch the Cougars in action. Can't make the games. We're happy to have you here on the Cougar Sports Network as Smith takes the 3-1 count here. Baker delivers this one upstairs for ball four. Smith gladly taking a free base, and that's going to be walk number 4 of the day for Baker. We're going to see a new batter for the Cougars in number 14, Esme Luvano. Luvano making her first appearance of the day. 2 hits in 2 at-bats on the season so far. So no outs here in the bottom of the fifth. 1 runner on base. Luvano working her way into this. Baker so far, 4 innings pitched, only 1 hit allowed in 18 batters faced. So a great outing here from Baker. Baker, the junior out of Lafayette, Indiana, delivers that one in for ball one. That one catches for strike one. This one swung on, fouled off. 1-2 count here. Cougars, 2 games against the Vikings here today before kicking off some action. Northern Athletics Collegiate Conference play this weekend, hosting the St. Norbert Green Knights on Saturday and the Aurora University Spartans on Sunday. Pair of non-cons this week, falling in 2 games against Carthage yesterday and in game 1 of 2 against the Vikings today, as that one is fouled off near the Cougar dugout. Luvano keeping herself alive in this at-bat. A 1-2 count, no outs, runner on first. This one in the dirt. The throw back to first, not in time. Patton staying aggressive behind the plate. Looks to get Smith on the slow jog back, but Smith safely back. That one misses outside and fills this count at 3-0. As that one misses upstairs for another walk. And that's going to be 2 consecutive walks from Baker. And we're going to see a quick break here as head coach of the Vikings, Katie Anderson, coming out to have a quick chat with Baker. Looking most likely like Baker will remain in the game at this moment. Anderson came out with her pen and paper, but leaves Baker in the circle as it stands. Vikings still on top 6-0, but 2 consecutive walks for the junior puts runners on first and second. And that's going to bring Ashley Schroll to the plate for CUC. Schroll 0 for 2 so far today. Looked to lay down a bunt, had a soft ground roller over to Garcia at first. As she takes that one for strike 1. Struck out in her last at-bat. So still chasing a hit here in game 1 of 2. This one misses upstairs for ball 1. Pops out of Patton's hand. Smith danced around the idea of going, especially once that ball fell out of the glove of Patton, but instead held at second. Patton never really lost sight of the ball despite falling out of her glove, so probably a good look from Smith to hold at second. That one does bounce in the dirt and get away, and the runners will advance on that one. Smith was ready to go, taking advantage at the first chance she saw, and that's going to put runners on second and third with no outs here for Schroll. Eliminates the force on the lead runners. As this one misses upstairs for ball 3. 3-1 count here. Baker with 2 consecutive walks. As this one misses in the dirt for ball 4. And the Cougars are going to have bases loaded with no outs after 3 consecutive walks from Baker. And that's going to put Jess Gang at the plate for the Cougars. Gang, the lone Cougar with a hit here today. 1 for 2. She had a double in her first at-bat. As she lets that one go by for ball 1. Cougars see that Baker's having a bit of trouble here. They're going to stay aggressive at the plate and make her pitch strikes for them. Not chasing and not going down unnecessarily, as that one misses high once again for ball 2. Little bit of action down in the Vikings bullpen. Baker settling in. She sends this one right in there for strike 1. Gang hitting .395 on the season. 16 total hits after her 1 hit today. That one rolls foul along the third base line. Two-two count here. No outs. Bases loaded. This ball swung on. Bounce foul off the third base netting. 2-2 count here. Baker trying to work herself back into this. As that ball catches the outside corner for strike 3. Puts 1 out on the board. Baker getting herself back into a rhythm here. Cougars staying aggressive and making Baker pitch those strikes. And that's going to put Maya Lorenas at the plate for the Cougars. Still bases loaded now with 1 out. I think she's all right as the 2-2 now sits here. 1 out, bases loaded. Schroll on first, Luvano on second, Smith on third. Is that ball high and away? Fills this count at 3-2. The pitch. Swung on, popped up. Making the diving grab is Baker herself, and that's going to hold runners where they are. Great effort from Baker to get that out and hold runners where they are, but that's going to bring a new batter to the plate for the Cougars in number 10, Joe Anderson. Anderson, a sophomore from Romeoville, Illinois, coming in today, hitting .333 on the season, 6 hits in 18 at-bats, 8 total appearances on the season for the Cougars. CUC now operating with 2 outs, bases loaded. Needing to find a way to capitalize on this. Baker sends this one right in there for strike 1. Baker, 98 total pitches so far, as that one is connected and sent foul along the first base netting. Oh, 2 count here in favor of Baker. Baker 1 strike away from erasing her walks. That one misses low for ball 1. That one high for ball 2, and an even 2s across the board. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs here in the bottom of the 5th. Cougars looking to rally here with 2 outs. Baker delivers this one, swung on, chopped foul. It's going to keep Anderson alive. Still sitting with a 2-2 count here. Baker sends this one low for ball 3. And a full count here for the Cougars. Another walk will score the first run of the day for the Cougars. This one swung on, chopped over to first base. Garcia's going to get it, and that's going to hold the runners and hold the Cougars scoreless. So the Vikings getting out of a bases-loaded jam. CUC unable to capitalize on it, and we head to the top of the 6th. CUC still trailing 6-0. Hofek still in the circle for the Cougars here on the Cougar Sports Network. Back here on the Cougar Sports Network, top of the 6th. Froworth at the plate for North Park. CUC trailing 6-0. Hofek sends this one in. It's chopped over to third base. Anderson able to glove it, get the throw over. For out number 1, Joe Anderson entering the game in the Cougars offensive half, and now staying in to play at third base. And that's going to bring Lorenz up to the plate for the Vikings with one down. This one inside for ball one. Lorenz 2 for 3 at the plate today. Had an RBI single in her last at-bat. This one straight down the middle for strike one. This one swung on, chopped over to Anderson once again, and an easy throw over from Anderson gets out number 2 in a similar fashion, and the Cougars quickly put 2 away. Keene coming up to the plate for North Park. Keene 1 for 2 at the plate. Vikings 5 for 10 at the plate with 2 outs, so not unfamiliar territory for them. As that one is in there for strike one. Vikings 10 total hits on the day in comparison to the Cougars 1. So some domination from the offensive side of things coming from North Park. Cougars able to hold them scoreless in the last inning, looking to do so once again, already 2 away. As that one catches for strike 2. One, 2 count, 2 outs. Sun is starting to poke out from behind the clouds once again. That ball lifts a little bit high. Makes this a 2 count across the board. Hofek. This one hit into the outfield. Coming in on it is Morris, and able to get it is Morris for out number 3. So a quick 3 up, 3 down for the Cougars is going to do it and send them back to their offensive side of the game. Looking to get things going with a late rally, trailing 6-0 as we head to the bottom of the 6th. Baker still in the circle for the Vikings. We'll be right back on the Cougar Sports Network. Back here on the Cougar Sports Network, bottom of the 6th, Arissa Santos leading off for the Cougars. She takes the first pitch she sees in the dirt for ball 1. Baker still pitching for the Vikings. 5 complete innings pitched so far. 6 walks, 4 strikeouts. Has officially surpassed the 100 pitch count as that one goes wild. And goes for the 2-0 count here. Baker responsible for 3 walks in the last inning that loaded the bases for the Cougars, but then was able to get out of the inning with no damage done as she delivers that one in there for strike 1. This one catches for strike number 2. They're going to check the count. They're going to say it was only the second strike. Umpire initially thought it was strike 3, but strike 2 as confirmed by the field ump. So the 2-2 count here. Swung on. Sent foul along the third base line. Still sitting with the 2-2 count. Swung on, lifted into the infield, but getting up and underneath it was Tan for out number 1.
Now back to the Cougars, number 17, Mykyler Morris.
That's going to bring Mykyler Morris to the plate. Morris 0 for 1 today. Flew out in her last appearance, as that one misses high for a ball 1. This one misses inside for ball 2. A quick 2-0 count here for Morris. CUC still staying aggressive at the plate, making Baker pitch to them, knowing that she's capable of walking a handful. As that ball, slow roller over to first, and Garcia able to collect it and step on the bag for out number 2.
Now back to the Cougars, number 1, Alyssa Campos.
And CUC now operating with 2 outs. And that's going to bring Alyssa Campos up to the plate. Campos 0 for 2 here today. She takes that one low for ball 1. This one misses inside for ball 2. And staying vigilant, missing that one for ball 3. So Campos resisting the urge on that and now sits with the 3-0 count. That one misses low and away for ball 4. And another walk for Baker.
Number 8, Caitlin Smith.
It's going to bring Caitlin Smith up to the plate. Smith, 1 walk on the day in her last at-bat. As that one misses upstairs for ball 1. And we're going to see another quick break from the Vikings. As head coach of the Vikings, Katie Anderson, coming back out to have a chat with her pitcher. After walking 3 batters in the last inning, Anderson coming out, regrouping things for a minute, and got things headed in the right direction for the Vikings, as Baker was successfully able to get out of that inning with no damage done. So Anderson coming back out to resettle things once again, help give Baker the necessary confidence boost to get out of the inning, already 2 away. So the 1-0 count, runner on first, 2 outs for the Cougars. And that one is in there for strike 1. CUC 0 for 5 at the plate today with 2 outs. As that one catches for strike number 2. A 1-2 count here. After Coach Anderson settles things for Baker. This one hit into right center, and that's going to get down. And Smith's going to hold at first. That's going to move Campos to third. But CUC getting things moving with only their second hit of the day coming off the bat of Caitlin Smith. And that's going to bring up number 14, Esme Luvano. Luvano coming in the last inning to hit. She saw a walk in her first and only appearance of the day. Baker sent that one outside for ball one. This one swung on and missed for strike one. This one connected, sent over to second, bouncing off of her foot. And they're going to say that she still got her nonetheless. Tan was able to collect it off of the roll and still get Smith out at second. So Cougars held scoreless once again as we head to the top of the seventh from River Forest here on the Cougar Sports Network. Back here on the Cougar Sports Network for some top of the seventh action. Snyder at the plate for the Vikings. Hofek still in the circle for the Cougars. She delivers that one straight down the barrel for strike number one. Hofek, 20 pitches thrown so far on the day in 6 batters faced. 2 innings of work thus far as she delivers this one inside for ball one. One count here. As that ball misses for ball two. Vikings still lead 6-0 here in the top of the seventh, but have been held scoreless in the last 2 innings. 2 innings that Morgan Hofek has been pitching for the Cougars. As she connects on this one, sends it over. Anderson collects it at third. Off balance throw, still gets it. Hello, Joe Anderson. Cougars put one away. Since entering the game last inning, Joe Anderson been a magnet at the plate as we're going to see a new hitter for the Vikings.
Now batting for the Vikings, number 17, Dora Sayaki.
So one away here in the top of the seventh. And Dora Sayaki now in for the Vikings. Sayaki making her first appearance of the day. She looks at that one in there for strike number one. Sayaki, 7 appearances on the season. As that one misses away for ball 1. 2 hits on 6 at-bats. She's looking at the 1-1 count with 1 out here. And that one catches for strike number 2. Some busy traffic on Division Street, giving some encouraging honks for the Cougars. As Hofek delivers that one in for ball 2. 2-2 count here. That one swung on, chopped over to first, right to Lorenas, who's able to glove it and get it on her own for out number 2.
Now batting for the Vikings, number 1, KT Patton.
And that's going to bring up Patton back to the plate. Patton 1 for 3 today, had a double in her second at bat. As this one goes by for ball 1. Two outs here in the top of the 7th. This one swung on, sent foul along the third base netting. One count for Patton. Hofek delivers this one in there for strike number 2. One-two count, 2 outs here. Hofek looking to end things. And that one in the dirt for ball 2. Two count across the board. This one misses just outside for ball 3. This fills the count at 3-2. Hofek looking to get out of the inning. And this ball swung on, hit, and lifted into center field. Getting back underneath it is Morris, and the Cougars get out of the inning. No damage done. Hofek delivers 3 straight scoreless innings, and the Cougars are heading to the bottom of the 7th with some work to do, but the pitching staff has done their job. And CUC trails 6-0 as we head to the bottom of the 7th here on the Cougar Sports Network. Back here on the Cougar Sports Network, bottom of the 7th. CUC trails North Park 6-0. Ashley Schroll at the plate for the Cougars. Schroll 0 for 2 today, had a walk in her last at-bat. Cougars really need some sparks here to get going. A tough task, but not an impossible one. CUC putting up big runs in one inning against the Firebirds yesterday. Very possible for this squad to do so here as Schroll reaches on that one and goes down swinging for out number 1. And that's going to bring Jess Gang in for CUC. Gang responsible for 1 of 2 hits today up until the last inning when Caitlin Smith got a hit. Jess was the only Cougar batter to record a hit on the day, so she's going to take strike 1 and look to jumpstart things here in the bottom of the 7th. Baker still working in the circle for the Vikings as that ball misses foul by about a foot. A good hack there from Gang, but puts this at an 0-2 count. Baker 128 pitches so far today, looking to end this game here in this inning as this one is popped up into the infield and Lorenz gets underneath it for out number 2. And CUC officially down to their last out. And no better bat to be behind than Maya Lorenis. Lorenis leading this CUC squad this season with a .519 batting average. Despite going 0 for 3 here today, looking to jumpstart some things as she takes that one upstairs for ball 1. This one catches in there for strike 1 and a 1-1 count here. 2 outs, no runners on base. Cougars looking for a 2-run rally as Lorena swings through that one. Bounces it off of her foot, I believe. But that's going to move the count to 1-2. CUC 1 for 7 at the plate with 2 outs. Really needing to see some things change here as they are down to their last strike. Baker delivers this one in the dirt for ball 2. Two count across the board. This one connected, and it's going to be caught in foul territory by Garcia, and that's going to do it for game number 1 of today's non-conference doubleheader between the Vikings and the Cougars. CUC falls to North Park 6-0. Vikings put up 10 hits on the day with no errors. Cougars only 2 hits with 1 error. Baker pitching 7 innings for the Vikings, picking up the win here today with 7 walks, 5 strikeouts, and 136 total pitches thrown. Baker's going to pick up her 3rd win of the season with today's win. And on the flip side for the Cougars, it's going to be Ashley Schroll picking up the loss after giving up a run in the first inning that the Cougars could not overcome. So Schroll picking up her 3rd loss of the season. But the save of the day for the Cougars, despite not a statistical save, Morgan Hofek coming in and delivering 3 straight scoreless innings, pitching 3 innings for the Cougars, 9 batters faced, and 34 total pitches thrown. So a really effective pitcher for the Cougars coming in and doing her job. Just unable to put some runs up on the board to combat some of that early offense from the Vikings. But we're going to have some more action between these two teams coming up in just about 30 minutes. Before we close this broadcast off, I want to give a huge shout out to everybody that made today's production possible. Doing stats and running music for us is the graduate assistant in athletic communications, Sydney Lloyd. Doing PA for us and running scoreboard for a bit of the game is Eric Perry. Running scoreboard for the rest of the game was Jalen Franklin. And our fabulous producer is the wonderful Abby Kulig. On the call today, Kayla McLeod, thank you so much for joining us, and we're going to have some Game 2 action coming up in just about 30 minutes here on the Cougar Sports Network, so we'll see you then.
So much for tuning in to today's Concordia University Chicago Cougars Athletics broadcast. We hope to see you on campus very soon. If you would like to learn more about what Concordia Chicago has to offer, go to cuchicago.edu.